Hello, this is Joe Screbbles from Official Nintendo Magazine, and I'm here to tell you about the new StreetPass games. Now, as you may know, Nintendo sprang a little surprise on us yesterday with a firmware update that updated our Mii Plaza as well. Now, the 4 new games all cost £4.50, or you can buy the entire pack for £13.49. The problem I saw was that the only way of finding out what those games are before you play them is by having a weird rabbit with a tablet describe it to you, and it doesn't seem good enough to me. So this video's just here to show you a little bit of each one and help you decide which ones you want to get. First up is StreetPass Squad, which uses anyone you've picked up during your travels to become sort of weapon pickups in a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. It's a really nice little system. Basically, each person's shirt colour corresponds to a different type of weapon, and those weapons can be attached to pods on the front or back of your ship. They can shoot forwards, backwards, or diagonally. If you want to power up a weapon, you can put someone else's pod behind it to level it up. And anytime you want to change it around during the game, you just press the bottom screen, that pauses everything, you can do your switches, and then carry on. Unfortunately, given that the game came out yesterday, and StreetPass being what it is, I can't tell you too much about it. What I can say is that it's a really nice, colourful little shooter with some nice ideas. Doesn't seem too hard, which might put off the treasure fans among you, but with the number of systems in place, the different weapon types, we can see it getting pretty tough. If they put in some StreetPass Quest-style obstacles that rely on you having certain weapons, that might toughen it up a bit. Next is StreetPass Garden, made by Grezzo, the people behind the Ocarina of Time 3DS port. And just like that game, it's all leafy and lovely. It's definitely the most static of the 4 new games, closer in tone to Puzzle Swap than StreetPass Quest, say. Essentially, you're on the road to being a master gardener in a lovely house that looks like it might be in Midsummer Murders. To do that, you have to grow different plants. There are apparently 20 different types, but they can be different colours, different shapes, and I don't know, they might have faces or teeth. And everyone you pick up with StreetPass helps water your plant until it's fully grown, at which point the plants they're growing cross-pollinate with yours and produce new seeds to grow. It's a nice enough little game, not that interesting, I have to say, but those of you after a collecting experience might appreciate that it's just a turn on, see what's happened and turn off type game. Next is StreetPass Battle, which casts you in the role of a sort of imperialist conqueror, just a horrible person to be honest, backed up by a snivelling butler figure called Wentworth, sort of a yes minister Humphrey figure. You're never quite sure if he's on your side. Either way, the game's quite cool, sort of mixing Genghis Khan's career with rock, paper, scissors. Essentially, everyone you pick up on StreetPass adds to your army, and the amount of troops they add corresponds with the amount of StreetPass hits they've had. When you go into battle, your army faces off against a computer-controlled army, and you get to see what type of troops they have. There are infantry, archers, and cavalry, and each one corresponds to one of rock, paper, or scissors, literally. You then choose the best ratio of each one within your own army to combat them, and then you play a best of 3 game of rock, paper, scissors, but where you get to watch Mii's punch each other in the face a lot. I can see this being sort of the slowest of the StreetPass games, given that if you aren't passing people on the street who have literally hundreds of hits, you might be stuck for quite a long time until you have an army big enough to even bother combating one of the generals later on in the game. That said, watching Mii's punch each other in the face is sort of worth it, even if it's your guy. Look at them, idiots. Last up is my favourite, StreetPass Mansion, which takes the wandering battles of StreetPass Quest and turns it into a real-time action thing, where you've got to attack, block, and use items, all while a ghost with a massive tongue tries to, I don't know, lick you to death or something. The best part of this, though, is how you get from battle to battle. Every person you StreetPass gives you a piece of map, which corresponds to the colour of their shirt. Those pieces of maps are essentially Tetris blocks that you put into a grid on which you're trying to find a hidden set of stairs that gets you to the next level. Each piece of map has to connect, and if you put 2 different colours next to each other, you're more than likely going to end up in a fight. That said, if you can strategise and see which colours are coming up, you can avoid battle and get rewards for it. For every square of 4 tiles of the same colour you make on the map, you create a room in which there's a treasure chest, which might have health potions, stat boosts, or new weapons in them. For every 2 squares you extend that room, there's another treasure chest. That said, you don't want to totally avoid battles because as you fight more and more, your weapon upgrades itself, meaning you can cope with fights on a higher floor. It's a really nice balanced little game, and it's something that wouldn't be possible without StreetPass. It's definitely my favourite of the 4, but they've all got merits, and they all tie into the other new feature on Mii Plaza. These adorable little tickets now let you buy from a random selection of accessories, which is updated every day. Essentially, it's a new way of getting the hats from StreetPass Quest. Not to mention another incentive to keep playing the game as well, because you only get the tickets from certain successful encounters. So I hope that's helped you decide which games you are and aren't going to get, and who knows, maybe one day we'll pass each other in the street and I'll get to watch my Mii punch your Mii's face off. Bye!